Sounds like a song.
Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
All guests appear on the Goldberg Noon Abraham Hotline. Goldberg-law.com.
Yes! Oh, I like
It's up to you now. It's up to you.
I like it.
Now, the best local sports show this town has ever heard. Here's Miller and Moulton.
Your life. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton on this first Tuesday of February. Thanks so much for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio. A little chillier than you'd like, I know.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Temps in the low 50s, inland even in the 40s. But it'll warm up quickly today. And it'll get warmer as the week goes on and then cooler on the weekend, supposedly. How are you?
I feel so much better now knowing what the weather's going to be like for the next 5 or 6 days.
You do know the weather is the most important piece of information that apparently can be given out. All research indicates that. All right? Why do you give me a hard time for giving out the weather?
Because you have mocked the weather since I've known you, and since we started Act 2, you feel compelled to be a weatherman.
Well, one, the weather in the morning is far more important than it is in the afternoon. All right, that's number one, because people are just beginning their day. Two, I mocked how much time the weather got during the newscasts, because you can give it out that quickly. You can do weather in 20 to 30 seconds. And the fact that they get a top of the newscast hit, then they get their 4+ minutes in the middle, and then they get another hit before they say goodbye. It's like, okay, you're doing 22 minutes of news, and you're giving 6 of it to weather.
See, this is my point. You're very bitter about the weather, and while you say you only wanted to be a sportscaster, I think somewhere deep down inside, you're jealous of all weathermen, weather people, and want to go back into television simply to be a weatherman.
I did the weather probably a couple dozen times throughout my career.
Missed your calling, I see.
Well, I didn't say I was good at it. I just said I filled in and did it. Had a guy in Binghamton who got, Bob, sorry, got to do this, but the late Bob Buchanan, Bob was a big Mets fan. And Mark, if Bob went home in between shows and started watching the Mets and had maybe 1 or 2 too many, Bob would call in at about 10:10 and go, I'm not coming back. Okay, gotcha.
Love that. I mean, I absolutely love that there's a world, or at least was a world, where you could get drunk and call in and say, I'm too drunk, basically, to come back to work. Can you guys handle it? And they said, sure, we got you covered. See you tomorrow.
Now, we never told the news director.
I understand that, but today that wouldn't fly.
No, it wouldn't
Someone would. I think he's got a problem. We're going to have to tell. I think we need to have an intervention. No, the guy's watching the Mets game, and he had 6 beers for crying out loud. No intervention.
And that was because one time Bob came back, and Bob had a couple, and it was about 9:45, and Bob was really cranky because the Mets lost another one, and Bob was really cranky on the air that night. And I literally pulled him aside, and the executive producer was like, Bob, you okay? You were just not in a good mood. You were not, your cheery self on the air and what have you. And he goes, my dog is sick and the Mets bullpen and blah, 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 blah. And so I just said to Bob, I go, Bob, just call in next time. I go, you've been here 30 years and I can do a damn thing to you. I go, you could take the 11 o'clock news off for 4 months straight. I go, February, May, November. Those are the books. You got to do the 11 3 months out of the year. And so Bob started calling in. He's like, yeah, you're a good dude, Moulton. Okay, Bob.
I think that's a solid description of David. Good dude.
You're a good dude.
I think that would be certainly an A or B choice for you. How would you describe David Moulton? A good dude. B, a good dude, but angry.
Sometimes. But also, Bob had bad hair. Bob had bad hair. All right, and so that made me feel good. Doing the.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know if when he was drunk, if it was all over the place, and that's why he couldn't go on the air.
Sometimes he'd come back, he wouldn't quite put it on right.
I like that you apologized to Bob before the story, and he's dead.
He is.
I mean, there's no need to ever apologize when telling a story about someone who's dead.
Don't know. Bob takes on different hours now. He might be up now, but Bob, sorry. So
it has begun, people. Yesterday was the first of what we like to call a long winter that will last through the spring and summer.
The long winter of our discontent.
I mean, Game of Thrones for years went with winter is coming. That's basically what today is for the football fan. Winter is here.
219 days away from when the Chiefs will host whoever on that Thursday night football.
Tom Brady and the Tennessee Titans.
31 weeks and 2 days away. So the number is 219 for the NFL, 207 for college. That's if you count week 0. It's 207 to like 6 games are being played. One of them is Navy, Notre Dame, and Ireland in late August. But the first full weekend of college football, the magic number is, 214 or something like that.
And those are the last times you will hear those numbers until they are single digits.
Yeah, early June. It doesn't get to double digits for the NFL until early June.
Let's try to, piece by piece, explain to the sports fan who is in a bit of, whether it's depression, neglect, whatever stage they are in right now. I think we can help them, David, because between now and August, a lot of things will happen that are worthy. Sporting events. I mean, for you, David, do we get started this weekend, next weekend, with the Daytona 500? This weekend, they have the Carb Day.
You got the XFL this weekend.
David, I said sports.
I'm sorry.
So we've got, Carb Day's the Indy 500. So we've got whatever the Gatorade things, whatever, the duels.
Carb Day. I just thought you were talking about my diet.
Yeah, I think, how about this? How about you try to take carbs off until the football season begins?
What is your problem this morning? Seriously, what has gotten into you telling me to not have carbs until the NFL season starts?
You have your choice, weather or carbs.
Wait.
Your wife right now is doing cartwheels around the house with that statement. That made her day there.
She's laughing pretty hard. I will give you that. So wait a minute.
You think about that. You get carbs or weather.
So I just want to make sure I understand. So I have to give up one or the other. Talking about the weather on the show.
Or carbohydrates.
Or carbs in my everyday life.
Yes.
All carbs? I mean, you can't, you're out to dinner? I can't have a roll?
No.
Why? I mean,
a deal's a deal. Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to have you ready to play linebacker by the time football season starts. You're going to walk in and see Troy for the first time, and he's not going to recognize you. You're going to have a better suit on than he does. Your hair is going to be coiffed just perfectly, and you're going to say, Troy, David, how was the summer? Then you're going to flex at him.
Right. That's exactly what I'm going to do. My goodness.
But from a sports standpoint, we have a lot. You got the Daytona 500 in 2 weeks. We're going to chase the 500 very so quickly. March Madness will be upon us.
Right. Mark, on Thursday, you got an NBA trade deadline. I don't know about you, but I love a good trade deadline. In fact, there's no such thing as a bad trade deadline.
Well, and the trade deadline for the NBA folks, there's a handful of players out there of whether or not they get moved because you have no idea who's going to win anything in the NBA right now. A trade could make a huge difference to a few teams out there.
D'Angelo Russell's apparently available. Who knows? The Timberwolves may blow it up. Of course, we don't know what it is, but they may blow it up. Half the Knicks are available. Don't know how much value that has.
I was going to say someone would have to want that, but that's a great point. And then you chase that with Augusta in April.
Right.
Well, leads us right to the NHL and NBA playoffs. That'll take us through till June. David, before you know it, we'll be in single digits without even have to mention football, and that doesn't even talk about the draft and free agency that's just around the corner.
And the draft's in Vegas, for goodness sakes.
So there's something else in Vegas here in a couple of weeks that I now want to go to, I think, more than the draft.
In a couple of weeks in Vegas.
At 3 weeks, to be exact, a little less than 3 weeks.
What's that?
February 22nd is the 40th anniversary of a little hockey game that was played in Lake Placid, New York.
The Miracle on Ice.
That would be the little hockey game that was played in Lake Placid. Yes, happened to listen to an interview with Al Michaels yesterday. And the Las Vegas Golden Knights have invited all of the remaining players and Al, who he kind of calls himself the team mascot. I mean, it is pretty fun to hear Al Michaels, who has called everything. Every single big sporting event, basically, that there is, with the exception of the World Cup. And he said yesterday, outside of going to my kid's soccer game when he was little, I've never seen a soccer game. So Al has no interest in doing the World Cup.
No, he doesn't.
But because he said he was, Rich Eisen asked him if there's something he'd want to do. And he didn't say it arrogantly. He just matter-of-factly said, I don't think so. He goes, I'm quite fortunate. I don't know if there's an event that because he did a Rose Bowl. It's how they got started. When he was working for KNBC or whatever radio station in San Francisco he worked for, they were affiliated with the station KNBC in L.A., and UCLA was playing Ohio State, 72-73 Rose Bowl. And Ohio State was undefeated, number one team in the country. UCLA beat them pretty handily. But the UCLA guy had the national broadcast. Gowdy did the NBC. The UCLA guy got the national radio broadcast, so they brought Al in to do the local, and it was just like, he said a Rose Bowl. I mean, you did a Rose Bowl too when you were 20? Oh, great. But I just thought fascinating that they're bringing everybody there. I'm not a nostalgia guy, but for that night, yeah, I wouldn't mind being in Vegas on the 40th anniversary just to see that. Apparently, Eruzione has penned a new book recently about it.
And he sold off, I think when it was the 35th year, he had a big sell-off of a lot of his memorabilia. He kept a couple of things, but otherwise he got rid of most of it. And it took a little heat, and he was kind of like, hey, I got family. He goes, not like I had a big NHL career.
And they sit in boxes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he goes, besides, it's my stuff. It's my stuff. I talked to my, family about it. Some people wanted certain things, but, a lot of stuff.
But it was like gloves and sticks. Yeah. What are you going to do with that?
Right.
You're going to give it to your buddy that owns the sports bar? You're going to put it in your man cave?
It would look really good, though.
I know somebody. I heard there is someone here, and I won't mention his name because I was told this story, not really for air, but there is one Southwest Floridian who I know who he is. We've not met. But apparently his stuff has stuff. There's one memorabilia collection in Naples that you, of all people, David, might be there for a day.
So in other words, you're saying he could sell tickets and tours just that people take a look at his stuff?
He has a wall of autographed baseballs that are just signed by non-baseball people, like presidents in different...
Oh, wow.
Not to mention all of the Hall of Famers who have signed baseballs and different things like that. But I was told that it is one hell of a collection.
249-8167 is our number, 249-8167 if you want to chime in via the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text line. And those following us on twitch.tv have noticed that, yes, all right, Frank is ecstatic this morning that I'm back. Lots of petting going on if you're watching.
Yeah, he broke in before the show started today, just busted the door down before my daughter was even up.
Sorry, Frank, I had to leave you for a few days. All right. I won't do it often, though.
No, you're pretty much back in the big chair for a while. I mean, I'm sure there'll be an FGCU game that you'll have to travel for.
There are a couple coming up in February in which I'll be out of town for a day or two. But, and that's pretty much it. And then, I'll be tied to the chair, so to speak, until golf in June.
Will you take an XFL job if offered one? Would your wife let you take an XFL job if offered one?
Well, my wife's very much into earning as much money as possible while, we can still earn money. So, Yeah, because it would be in Tampa. I mean, that's a leisurely drive. So sure. But, was not contacted by Fox to work any of the XFL games. So that'll be good. I'm still waiting for payment on the Alliance.
And that is something you will wait for a long, long, long time.
Yes, it is, Mark. Yes, it is. 249-8167, Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text line. Did you hear? First off, there's two things that we have not gotten to in golf, which I find interesting. One is Koepka comes out. I guess they're trying to do mid-round interviews, and Koepka goes, "Yeah, I ain't doing those. No." He goes, "I'm sure the viewers would, like it. I get it. I do, but no, I'm not doing them. I'm concentrating on my own thing." And he says no other major sport does it.
You actually do, Brooks. Brooks, believe it or not, NASCAR, which I know how tough golf is and how your nerves can get shot, but these guys are driving around vehicles that can crash. And they talk to them while they drive around on yellow flags, driving, 60, 70 miles an hour?
Yeah, doing the speed limit, if you will.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, we talk on the phone on our cars too, but
right.
There's no brake lights. So, yes, they do it. Coaches in every sport do it. Players know. So, can we interview your caddy, Brooks? Because I have to be honest, I'd rather interview the caddy than no, and I'm being serious. Because now I don't think they'd be honest. How's your guy playing today? Tell you what, we're struggling with the driver. He's got to figure out. We're doing a few things, but we might have to go to the 3-wood. That if you can get a caddy to be honest about his guy, I mean, that's essentially being able to interview the engine of the car, or for that matter, Secretariat, David.
Don't tease me like that, because you know how I feel. I'll consider a horse an athlete if I can interview them afterwards.
But I would rather talk to the caddy, because not one golfer is going to give you an ounce of anything. It's going to be Belichick at halftime or Saban at halftime.
Yeah, there's like Phil and three others who will probably actually give you a decent.
You never know. Now, here's the thing. If Brooks says no, and JT and Tony Finau and 40 others say, yeah, we'll do it, then get them. Because if any of them open up, it would be terrific television.
Lee Trevino always had the attitude, and granted, Lee's an original, but Lee's like, listen, you got to concentrate for 45 seconds at a time, 70 times. What am I going to do the other 3.5, 4 hours? He goes, why don't I talk? Have some fun. Talk to the gallery. Talk to my fellow competitors.
Fuzzy talked to everybody for years. There were a lot of them, and there are a lot of them that don't take it that seriously. But we have made, the PGA Tour, NASCAR caught a lot of heat, David, for every driver being virtually the same. You had Junior, and then you had the Gordon run where every guy was corporate and robotic and not very fun. And many of the old guard and some of the new guard of fans didn't like that because they wanted personality. Well, golf has become that way. Golf was always uptight. But post-Tiger, all of these guys, until we had this Matthew Wolff character that actually swings differently than someone else, between Jim Furyk and Matthew Wolff, find the original, DeChambeau. You got about 3 guys that are originals out there. The rest of them are flipping robots. And they all have personal trainers, and they all have a swing coach, and they all are worried about what the velocity of the ball is coming off the club. I mean, it's launch angle. And they're not interesting. Brooks actually is.
He is. He's a thinker, but he's also very serious, and he just said, listen, I'm not going to do it. And this came up because on the European Tour, it's now become a significant part of their coverage. They make you do it. But they also have a little thing going on in which golf's trying to crack down on slow play. And so there was a group in the European Tour event over the weekend in which Graham McDowell, I believe, got a warning or a stroke penalty for slow play, but it all came about after he gave a mid-round interview. He's like, well, I stopped to do the interview, and so now you're going to give us a hard time? And so he's like, well, then I'm not going to do any more interviews. And so Koepka was asked about it, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I understand European Tour. They actually, when they tap you on the shoulder, I guess you kind of have to do it. PGA Tour, it's still optional." And so Koepka basically letting the networks know, "Yeah, don't tap me on the shoulder.
I'd tap him every time. Every time.
You know that's not how the golf media works."
I know, and the golf media are pansies.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they are. They pay so much. These networks pay so much money. They are the lifeblood of all these athletes. You know, who was it at the Super Bowl that actually thanked the media? Was it one of the Niners players? Somebody at Media Day thanked the media. Peter King wrote about it and went, "Wow, in today's world, there's a shocker."
Yeah, I think he said, "I've been covering X number of Super Bowls. This is the first time that a member of the media, a player actually thanked the media for the coverage." And occasionally you get the player that retires that also thanks the media. And in theory, the media is supposed to just be the conduit to the fan. I know sometimes they take that role and self-promote and all that. Shocking, I know. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. You're the big golf guy. All right, we're the number one golf.
I'd rather have the
caddy.
I'd rather have the caddy than the player.
If the caddies would be truthful, and I think it would be great also because it'd be a chance for these caddies to maybe,
they have personality.
Yeah, but to make a name for themselves, and also, we've talked about this in the past, in which the tour doesn't let them have their own endorsement deals. Some of the golfers try to take care of their caddies. They give them a piece of their endorsement deal. Hey, you wear the BMW stuff that I do as well. I'll give you a piece, that sort of deal. But
most of them live by the 3 ups. Show up, keep up, shut up. That's it. And that's, Buckley caddied for McNeil in an event. And Tom Buckley, who played 10 years professional hockey, was close at one time in the AHL. He said, it was as humiliating as it gets. He didn't even talk to me.
Well, I'm guessing it would depend on whether you're playing well or not.
Well, George was back after Friday, so that might explain it.
249-8167 is the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text line, 249-8167. A lot to chew on, and we'll begin to do so with the starting 5 on the other side. Hope things are going well for you as we are now into February, and thanks so much for making us part of your day. Miller and Moulton, Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
Receiving. Over.
Alexa, play
Who won?
Fox Sports FM on TuneIn.
Do we have any results yet?
Kevin Durant's a better player.
Sorry, I don't know
Iowa.
that one.
Smart speaker.
Are we cheering for idiots? What's going on?
Sounds more like a dumb speaker, am I right?
You're an idiot. Nice job.
Get Southwest Florida sports talk delivered to your speaker.
This is easy.
Just say, Alexa,
Hello.
play Fox Sports FM on TuneIn.
I went to bed early.
Something
I
worthwhile.
was pretty tired. I went to bed like 8:30.
Glassdoor. Find the
So, but
right
I did
fit
watch
for your
the
business in half the resumes.
And I don't know if you're aware of this, but they're, obviously they're in Iowa. Well, Friday, that CNN Des Moines Register poll
Remember
comes
the
out.
soap dish?
That
Well,
was-
get ready for the
Okay, you
soap
know that.
dish down and dirty.
So
when
they're
Deanna
sitting there, and
Wallen
they've
from
got
Maple
the
Soap
lady
Company
who ran
returns
Hillary's
this
campaign.
Saturday and Sunday
Now
from
joined
7
them.
to 8
You know, I mean,
a.m.
who
here on
better for
Fox
the
Sports
Democrats?
Radio.
They did
You'll
take
hear
it
the
to
latest from
Democrats.
experts in the health and wellness community, along with surprise celebrity guests.
Brazil.
It's time to share all those
Not down in
sudsy
Brazil.
secrets, so get ready for some fun
Kind of
Saturday
brown,
and Sunday
straight
mornings
hair.
at 7 a.m. on the soap dish down and dirty. Brought to
She
you
was
by
on the,
Maple
she was on there.
Soap
They had her on.
Company
They would
and
interview her a
here
lot
on
last
Fox
year. The one,
Sports Radio.
she's pretty sharp. I mean, you know.
Johnson takes a snap.
But it's she and Iowa
and he goes
are
down
in
hard.
Iowa.
Flags
And
fly
Alex
on the play.
and McKeon or
There's a
whatever
lot
are back
of
in
laundry
New
on
York.
the field
So
after that hit.
They're having
Laundry
a call at the
piling
end of
up?
the show.
New Image Cleaners can
They
help.
find out
New Image Cleaners
they're
has been
not
Southwest
releasing
Florida's
them.
#1
Oh,
local
because
cleaner
some
since
judge
1975, offering dry cleaning, shirt
had nothing to
service,
do with
tailoring,
the
and even
caucus
free
as much
pickup
as
and
somebody
delivery.
else that was
New
running
Image
wasn't
Cleaners
on
at two
question.
Fort Myers locations and online at newimagecleaners.com. NUimagecleaners.com.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
Heart surgery. Who would you call? A doctor who's done it every day, or a
Would
doctor
be
who's
skewed.
done it
She
once a
just
year?
said, "Oh,
the same is true
you
about
mean
your
48 hours?" This is her
At
word.
the
She
Fort
ran
Myers Men's
Hillary's
Clinic,
campaign.
our
She was
Florida
part of
physicians
Hillary's
focus on
campaign.
one thing:
You mean
solving
48
your
hours
ED. High
before
blood
the
pressure,
biggest
diabetes,
caucus
high cholesterol, prostate
possibly
cancer,
of our
these all
lifetime,
contribute to your ED.
and the one
and our
poll
physicians at the
that
Fort
you
Myers
need
Men's Clinic
to know
how to solve
doesn't
your
come out.
problems.
So they are
over 50
all
different custom
flying
formulations
blind
tailored just for
in
you.
the most
You get to
48
try the
important
medication
hours of
containing
their campaigns.
FDA-approved ingredients right in our office.
And
Your
then
total
this
cost for the
happens?
consultation, test dose, testosterone, and PSA test is only
I didn't know.
$99.
I
If the
didn't
test dose
understand
doesn't
how
work,
caucuses
you pay
work.
us
I've never
nothing.
really.
So you have absolutely nothing to lose,
it's
but
stupid.
everything to gain. Call now.
How do we still have those?
239-317-7777.
Well,
That's
after
239-317-7777. And move from skeptic to believer. 317-7777.
You have like several votes. You vote, and then you're in a room, and then I can swing you back over to my team.
Yes, because if you don't reach a certain threshold,
you're not going to get a delegate. So
and
we
then
got to.
you sit there, and other campaigns can lobby you. Which now all of a sudden you can end up voting
I'm
for
Jimmy
someone
Williamson,
else.
and if you
But
need
was
a tile
interesting.
roof,
Second
metal
choice
roof,
type.
flat
Right,
roof, or
'cause
even a
Yang,
shingle roof, and you live in Naples, Cape
it said there,
Coral,
which
Fort
was
Myers,
bad
call
for
Williamson
Bernie. He
Brothers
is not a
Roofing
second
at
choice in Iowa for anybody.
239-283-2013. There is a sea of roofing contractors out there.
Yeah, he does
There is
well
no name in the roofing
as first
industry
choice,
that can command the
but he's
respect and
nobody's
assurance
second
like
choice.
that of
Right.
Williamson
Whereas
Brothers
if you're
Roofing.
any of the
Williamson
others,
Brothers Roofing
you have a
is the fourth
legitimate second
generation
choice.
of a tradition that began with my grandfather back in 1967. A tradition served.
But it was
Southwest
cool
Florida
Friday. It showed
and doing right by
Klobuchar
the family
finish the
name.
hearings.
Williamson
Get on a
Brothers,
plane to
we've
Cedar.
been here
There was a
4
direct flight
generations
from
and
DC
don't
to
plan
Cedar
on
Bluff,
going anywhere.
Iowa.
Tile, metal, flat,
Boom,
shingle roofs.
lands,
Call Williamson
boom.
Brothers Roofing
You know,
at
had 4 hours, came in and did a
239-283-2013.
stop.
2013. Tell them Jimmy sent you and that you want the radio roofing deal. Williamson Brothers Roofing, 239-283-2013. Again, that's 239-283-2013. License number CCC 133-1999.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Dan Martineau here, owner of D.R. Martineau Roofing of Southwest Florida. I've been repairing and replacing roofs for 27 years. We operate with integrity, knowledge, and service. Google DRM Roofing or call 239-332-1441.
License number CCC 1326954.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Hi, it's Don Shula. Shula's Steakhouse is the perfect place for a perfect Valentine's Day evening. Make your reservations early.
Because Florida.
Valentine's Day dinner will be extra special at Shula's with Wagyu steak with bordelaise sauce or
That's in
roasted
Naples.
halibut with carrot puree, heirloom carrot marigold, and Florida citrus vinaigrettes. Shula's famous regular menu is
Of
always
course,
available.
they just
so
drove
make your
off
reservations early for dinner with your
right out
Valentine.
and
Shula's
didn't know
in
they did it.
Naples Hilton, 239-430-4999. That's 430-4999.
Now back to Miller and Moulton. This is Miller and Moulton.
Your life.
"28 minutes past 6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for being with us, Miller and Moulton, Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio, and you can watch and catch this show via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch TV, twitch.tv. Make sure you sign up for the new Miller and Moulton YouTube channel. 249-8167, Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text line, 249-8167. Bobby Regan will join us in an hour to talk a little college hoops. Brian Toporczyk to talk a little NBA in our 8 o'clock hour with the trade deadline on Thursday. I'm a little surprised it's this soon after the Super Bowl. I would have, if I'm running the NBA.
When's their All-Star break?
Well, I think it's the following week.
I don't ever recall a trading deadline being before an All-Star break.
It seems a little early to me. I know we're teams approaching like game 50 right around now.
Right. I guess I'm confused. I always thought basketball was last. I did not think the NHL had the final trade deadline.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
That just kind of throws me. I mean, I think that needs to be my first question. Are we wrong, or did they move this sucker way up? Because this doesn't seem right.
It does seem a touch early. I am with you.
I mean, their season ends the latest. The regular season of basketball ends after the regular season of hockey.
By like a week.
Right. That just seems odd of a trade deadline before the All-Star break. Although, I mean, and that's the other reason, because the All-Star break, all the executives there, that's usually a place where at least deals are begun to be talked about.
Sure.
You get them over a few cocktails and you can loosen them up a little bit.
Absolutely. So, but I would just want to get even further away from the NFL. I mean, even if you made it a week from today.
David, can you ever really get further away from the NFL? Because then you're approaching their free agency.
Well, that's why I said only a few days. I mean, NFL free agency and combine, all that stuff is in second week of March. So, yeah, I've got only a limited window here. And then I got March Madness also. So I just have a few days to work with here, but I would move it back a few. That's all. Without further ado, time now for
the Starting Five. 5 big stories that you need to know. This is Miller and Moulton's Starting Five. Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
Mark turned out to be the 10th most watched Super Bowl of all time. Ratings up from the last couple of years. Fox is claiming 102 million people watched. That's when you throw in Deportes and a couple of the other side things that they did. According to Nielsen's, 99.9 million is the number that we're watching at any minute in time. It peaked in the fourth quarter with 135 million people watching. A little funny thing on Twitter yesterday. There was a tweet that said the Atlanta Falcons will not offer a new deal to Vic Beasley. And someone said, really? What's the source? Of course, the tweet came from the Atlanta Falcons.
Saw that.
So the Falcons tweeted and said, at Falcons. So Atlanta moving on from Vic Beasley, who had 37.5 sacks over the last 5 seasons. Sad news. Packer great Willie Wood passed away yesterday at the age of 83. He was a Hall of Famer, an undrafted Hall of Famer as a two-way player out of USC. As we mentioned, the NBA trade deadline is Thursday. The Heat are looking to add, and I don't know how much they have to add. Philadelphia, meanwhile, could be in a little bit of turmoil. Heat whooped up on the 76ers last night. Jimmy Butler had 38. And Miami beat Philly by 31, 137 to 106. And after the game, Ben Simmons said the Sixers are, quote, soft, unquote. I'll tell you what they are. They're bad on the road. Take a look at their home and road split. It is ugly. So the Heat, a winner big. Orlando beat Charlotte 112-100. Clippers edged the Spurs, who are 22-27. I mean, don't you have to go back to the year that Duncan was hurt and or the year Robinson was hurt to have a Spurs team that's 22-27 and give it up to the Mavs because, no Luka, and they went to Indiana and won 112-103. College hoops last night, Florida State rallied in the second half to beat North Carolina 65-59. The Tar Heels mark are 10-12.
Played hard in that game. I watched quite a bit of that game last night. And I mean, North Carolina was clearly the worst team. I mean, they just were. And they played their tails off last night. They had no scoring. They had nothing. They battled. They're bad.
10-12. Everybody's talking about what they have to do to make the NCAA tournament. They're not NIT eligible right now. I mean,
it's not like the ACC is a pushover.
No, you're 2 games under 500, and you're about halfway through your conference season. I mean, good luck.
By the way, you've got 2 with Duke left.
Right, including this Saturday, first one.
Because they always get Duke twice.
Right.
That's you don't get the benefit of a Clemson or a Miami twice. You're going to guarantee yourself you get Duke twice.
And the first one is this coming weekend, I believe, at the Dean Dome. Baylor is still the number 1 team in the country, and they escaped Manhattan, Kansas with a 73-67 win over K-State. And speaking of Kansas, they took care of Texas at home 69-58. I'm telling you, Shaka's in trouble.
Yeah.
In Austin.
I'm just looking at North Carolina's schedule. They've got Duke twice. They've got Louisville. They've got Wake Forest twice. They've got Virginia. They've got Notre Dame, NC State, and Syracuse.
Right.
They're not going to the NIT.
Well, and the other thing is, even if they find a way to go 6-3 with that, then what do you do in the ACC tournament? So I'm telling you, right now,
they'd be if they were 6-3, they'd be a game over 500.
Could lose,
then it doesn't matter. If they'd be 5, it doesn't matter. They'd go to the NIT. But I mean, 6-3 on that schedule.
That'd be pretty good.
That means that darn near means you're upsetting Duke.
At least once. at least once. FGCU women ranked 24th in the country in the coaches poll, went to Jacksonville last night. Nazuel tied the all-time FGCU single-game scoring record. She scored 36 points, Mark. She did it on 16 shots. Almost now, doesn't count when you go to the free throw line, but she went 9 of 10 from the line, but scored 36 points on 16 shots, tied the Rose Julian 36 point, and she scored 36 on 14 shots 3 years ago at Stetson. The FSW men are the number 1 ranked JUCO team in the country. They've won 17 in a row, and after a handful of weeks at number 2, they move up to number 1. The Bucks are 24-1. They are home Wednesday. If you want to catch them, they are home on Wednesday, that being tomorrow. The women come in once again, 20th week in a row that they're ranked in the top 15. They come in at number 14. NHL, the Florida Panthers battling the Toronto Maple Leafs and others for a playoff spot. They went into Toronto 2 points behind the Leafs. They scored 4 unanswered in the third to turn a 3-1 deficit into a 5-3 win. Big win for the Panthers last night. Dallas beat the Rangers with the same 5-3 score, and Philly shut out Detroit 3-0. Bit of a brain drain going on with the Tampa Bay Rays. Think about their offseason. They lose their number 2 guy to the Red Sox.
I wanted to stop you before the number 2 guy to the Red Sox. A little bit of brain drain.
Yep.
For the Rays. Think about their offseason. Just pause for a second. I want you out there not to think about the Rays offseason because I know you haven't. Not even for a second.
Right.
What I want you to do is think about if you know anyone who has thought about the Rays offseason. Go on, David.
Now, just because
it's not there was a knock at you. This was not a knock at you. It was just merely the fact that phrase came out and I went, wow. Who do you think's actually thought about the Rays offseason that's not a Tampa Bay Ray?
Well, Mark, considering it's a baseball hour, if anyone out there has, there's a good chance that they are listening.
If they chime in, I'll find them something, an ace sun pin at the very least.
So 249-8167.
Not only were you thinking about the Rays, but I need to know what your thought was. Go on, David.
So now, do you think this will be authentic? Or do
yeah,
you think
I'll be able to read. I'll be able to read through the BS.
You think that
I'll use your help during the break because you'll be able to formulate a Rays question back that will be able to sniff out
their authenticity.
There you go.
All right. A bit of a brain drain with the Rays this offseason. Remember, they lost their number 2 guy to the Red Sox to be their general manager, and yesterday they lost their vice president of baseball ops, James Click, a Yale grad, been with the Rays since 2006, worked his way up in the organization to VP of baseball ops. He's now the new general manager of the Houston Astros.
Well, you got to figure, if they don't spend any money on payroll, they can't cheat. So if you're going to hire someone, steal someone from the Rays.
Well, think about that, though. 2 of the 3 teams that have been implicated here, and the Astros
they've gone to the most.
And they went to the Rays.
Right, that's probably the most moralistically proper franchise because they don't try. They don't want to pay anybody. They want to give their players away, and they don't want anybody to come.
See, more than that, what I think it shows is that even the rest of baseball knows the Rays are doing it better than everybody. That
everybody knows that outside of Tampa.
Well, and they know it in Tampa. They're just, St. Pete's, it's a long drive, the bridge, traffic. I can't be bothered. But I just find it funny. The whole rest of the sport's like, oh, we're in a bind. We need somebody. Well, just give me the Rays organizational depth chart. We'll just hire one of them. All right, they're smarter than all the rest of us. Look at what they're doing. They're spending $1.73 on payroll. They're winning 90-plus games in the AL East. And as I mentioned earlier in golf, Brooks Koepka came out yesterday and said, I'm not going to do these mid-round interviews. I know you want to do them. I'm not going to do them. Don't know what to tell you. And little by little, Mark, golf and tennis are trying to speed up their pace of play. They were sticking to, in the Australian Open that just came and went, when the clock hit 25 seconds, they were issuing a warning. And there was one incident in the Australian Open final when Djokovic was like bouncing the ball in his service routine and got to 25 seconds and got a warning. And he was like a second away probably from pulling
the trigger
on that serve.
They do not use the NFL delay of game rules.
No.
They don't need
they were sticking to
the one beat after zero.
Joker, I became an even bigger fan of Joker because he when the referee did that to him and he proceeds to lose the next 2 points and loses his serve, he comes over, he takes his racket and taps the ref on the foot and he says, "Hey, congratulations, everybody knows your name now." And there you go. Find your inner sarcasm in the middle of a Grand Slam final.
Speed up, Joker. Speed up. Blames the ref. That's blaming the official for your own fault. That actually I don't like of Joker.
I like it.
I know you do.
I like it.
But Joker's always a nice guy. That's being an a-hole when you did something wrong. Oh, they know your name. Serve in 25 seconds. How much time do you need? I mean, because there's not anything. You and I do everything fast. We eat fast. We talk fast. I play golf fast. I mean, when I played sports, you get to play. I want to play. I don't want to.
Well, both golf and tennis seemingly are beginning to enforce their slow play rules.
Well, I mean, Spieth has made it a point of his own. DeChambeau's made a point of his own to speed up, and golf is now, instead of putting the threesome on the clock, they're putting the player on the clock. Thank goodness.
And that, Mark, is...
The starting five. 5 big stories that you need to know. This is Miller and Moulton Starting 5. Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
At 18 minutes before 7 o'clock, Bobby Regan of Barstool. Next hour, talk a little college hoop. Brian Toporek from Bleacher Report, talk a little NBA in our 8 o'clock hour with the trade deadline a little more than 48 hours away.
When we come back, David, a couple of texts to get to, but I owe you an apology.
What?
And it is a long time coming apology.
Whoa! Well, I don't know if you all are going to come back for the next segment, but I can't wait. So I have no idea what the heck you're talking about. But
a genuine apology.
Damn.
On the other side. So sorry that David will probably have time to fit in a little weather when we return. Miller and Moulton, Fox Sports Radio, streaming at FoxSportsFM.com. And you are looking live at our YouTube channel, Miller and Moulton.
This is the Dan Patrick.
You're clear.
What I saw last night, I never looked at him and attached an age. Because there's a certain point when quarterbacks get to 35 or 36 that their age is always mentioned with their name. Tom Brady, 42.
Dan Patrick.
And here they are, weekdays at 9 a.m. on
Let's see where Whitney normally works.
Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
Dial star 2020. Friends, I care.
Had enough of your daily contact lens routine that sometimes leaves your eyes begging for mercy, or maybe you just want to look in the mirror and see your face.
That's pretty slick.
It's time to show some LASIK love.
That's pretty slick. You like it?
Give the gift of LASIK.
I mean, because because she's got her hair covered up, and you really can't tell that it's a microphone, so to speak.
To see your future in 2020.
Almost looks like it's part of the jacket. And the little lavalier there, that's pretty slick.
$1,500 off bilateral LASIK. Dr. France, pioneer in LASIK surgery, assisted with the first laser vision correction procedure ever performed in the U.S. Over 30 years of experience, and this is expertise that you
that's just the jacket. I thought it was a lot.
LASIK because this sweet special is only being offered for a limited time. Financing available. Trust your eyes to Dr. Jonathan France and the team at France Eye Care and start seeing your future in 2020.
Friends, I care.
Hardee's new 2 for $5 mix and match may just be the best deal in town. Where else can you get any 2 Hardee's favorites like the bacon cheddar double, the hot ham and cheese, the original roast beef, or the charbroiled double cheeseburger for $5?
She's actually
That's a ton of lunchtime options for only $5. Come to think of it, Hardee's 2 for $5 mix and match may even be the best deal in the state. Someone call the governor and double check that. Offer available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Not valid with any other offer, discount, or combo. Looking to work some meatless options into your weekly routine? Hardee's is proud to introduce the original Beyond Thick Burger and Beyond Sausage Biscuit. Both patties are 100% plant-based, but are just as savory as the real deal. Now we know what you're thinking. How could a burger or breakfast sausage made entirely from plants be that satisfying? Guess the best way to find out is to taste for yourself. The original Beyond Thick Burger and Beyond Sausage Biscuit, now at Hardee's.
Hardee's Beyond Meat products are not vegan. The products are cooked on the same surface as meat.
On 2nd and 7, Johnson takes a snap and rolls right. Oh, and he goes down hard. Flags fly on the play. There's a lot of laundry on the field after that hit.
Dirty laundry piling up? New Image Cleaners can help. New Image Cleaners has been Southwest Florida's #1 local cleaner since 1975, offering dry cleaning, shirt service, tailoring, and even free pickup and delivery. New Image Cleaners at 2 Fort Myers locations and online at newimagecleaners.com. newimagecleaners.com.
If a car dealer asks you for your tax refund, don't do it. If you've made a deposit, get it back.
She's kind of their number. I mean, she's one of their top
Other
three
dealers want your tax refund at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Fort Myers. We don't need it right now during the President's Day event.
Because you got a lock and wash, and you got somebody that's at
per month. That's right. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, Ram Quad Cab, $299 per month. Over 1,100 Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams, all at the absolute best prices in Southwest Florida. Qualifying purchases with 0 down and no monthly payments till August. That's right, 0 down and no monthly payments till August. And exclusive of that offer, Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Fort Myers will give you $6,000 minimum for any trade, in any condition, running or not, at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com. 36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $29.99 to signing plus tax, stock, and dealer fee. No security deposit, minimum trade toward the purchase of select new vehicles. In stock units only. Offers don't combine.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
Now back to Miller and Moulton.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
No. This is Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
"12 minutes before 7 o'clock, Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
249-8167 is the Williamson Brothers Marine Talk and text line. But before we get to a couple of the texts, on Friday night, David, I went to a concert over at the Suncoast Credit Union Event Center?
I think it's just arena.
Okay, whatever. The Credit Union building.
Right. FSW's home.
Yeah. Went to see Styx.
Okay.
And I was lukewarm about going, but a while back, I had told a friend of mine about the show, and he got pre-sale tickets, and they were good seats, and I kind of said, yeah, I'll go. And he called a couple days before, and I'm like, I can't bail on him.
Right.
Because they weren't cheap.
No.
And concerts are way too expensive now, but that's a whole another thing. They're about $100 a ticket for Styx. I mean, they kind of passed their prime, 35 years ago.
Yes.
But
had a good run, though.
Yeah, they did. And let me just say, the concert wasn't good. It was fantastic. It was terrific. They played 2 one-hour sets. They played an encore. They told you pretty early on, we're going to play 2 sets. We're going to take a break. You didn't really have to ask why. It's because, well, they're old. They are. I mean,
that's all right. The audience wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Chickens
no. I mean, they are.
Right.
But they, Tommy Shaw, the bass player, are running around. They had stairs to go behind the drum kit. But the drummer and 2 guitarists were original members. The Dennis D. Young fake guy, whoever he is,
right,
that filled in for the lead singer, was perfect. And I say this to you because I have mocked you and your continued love affair with Journey,
right?
Even though they booted Stephen Perry,
right, which does bother me,
and it bothers me more. And I have written them off. I apologize to you because now I am considering seeing them because I love Journey. I don't really like any of the soft crap, but their early music is tremendous to me.
Yeah,
And Neil Schon, as you and I've talked about, is a great guitarist. No, he's not a top 10 guitarist, but he's a top 50 guitarist, and that's saying something.
Ooh, I think he's a little higher than that, but okay.
Yeah, well, we'll leave you to have that.
Well, we'll battle it out on a Connecticut cast at some point.
If we ever do one again. And so I am offering you that apology because upon further review of Friday night's Styx concert, I can no longer denigrate Journey singing with a fake singer. You move on. John Mayer's singing the Jerry Garcia songs, and people are comfortable with that. I have to be comfortable with this.
So that's the apology?
Yeah. What do you want? I mean, it's an apology.
I don't know.
It's genuine. It's sincere.
I thought maybe it was going to be sports related. It was sincere. I was looking at you the whole time. I can see the sincerity in you. I can feel the sincerity.
Sports related? What do I have to apologize to you about sports-wise?
I don't know. We do a sports show. I figured that the apology had something to do with sports. That I was right about something all these years.
Well, you were. You were right. Journey's probably worth going to see.
You'd pay the same price for Journey?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I'd like to have the same seats. I was in the 7th row, and they were terrific seats. I mean, that's and it's no knock on Hertz because Chris Stapleton's coming. Tickets go on sale for that this week. I hope to God I can get them. But Barbara B and the Credit Union Arena there, Suncoast Credit Union Arena, are terrific venues to see shows. They really are.
Easy in, easy out. Parking's free.
No, it's not.
What? Oh, come on now.
I knew there was a good and a bad here, everyone.
What?
So we're pulling in, and they told us to come down College, not Summerlin. And I'm like, why would they? Or
Right.
they're not Daniels, rather. Cypress Lake. I'm like, why are they sending us to College? It doesn't make any sense. And so, of course, out of habit, the guy driving makes a left on Summerlin. They don't even let you in where they usually let you in. They got to send you around the sides because they're taking cash. Not only, and I will say this, here's my complaint about the show, David. $10 to park, whatever, don't care. But they wouldn't let you park in front of the arena for $10. They wanted another 20 spot on top for the VIP parking. And no one went there. And the VIP parking was probably, and I'm not joking when I say this, I don't think it was much more than 50% full, if that. And it was raining, so it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Sure.
And don't bring a purse into the show. My wife had her concert purse small.
Right.
Like 8 inches across by 4 inches high.
Right.
And that was too big. And it was raining. And you know who had to take it back to the car, don't you?
That'd be you.
Yep.
Is that because it wasn't clear?
Yes.
Because that seems to be the policy.
Yeah, basically, if you want a purse now, get a 5-gallon Ziploc bag and...
Right, if it's clear, it's good.
Right.
Right. You could bring in a backpack if it was clear, but if you had a little...
Those are your new rules.
Okay.
They're everywhere.
All right, good to know.
But good show, lots of fun.
All right.
And an apology.
Well, all right, I'll take it.
I've thrown out my big get. I threw it out here and you laughed at me. I texted it to you the other day. You kind of mocked me.
I didn't. No, I didn't. I think it's early though. I don't think anything's official this early. I do think there's a chance, for somebody to come in late and seal the deal, to steal it.
Okay, I'm just telling you, based on what I know,
right?
It's done.
I know that's
done.
I know that's what you're saying. That's what you know.
And there are other layers to this too. There are other rumors that I heard out of this that I brought up to you yesterday that you found interesting because, you were talking with one of these gentlemen over the weekend.
Yes.
I think when we come back, I'll give you the rumor I have, and David, I think you can tell us about one of your Super Bowl conversations.
Okay.
I think, seriously, I mean,
right.
We have not gotten into the day of the game from David Moulton's perspective, and I'm not being a jerk. I am fascinated to hear a little bit of Saturday, the production meeting, and I'm curious of Sunday in just the whole day's event. So I'll give you my rumor. David can say what he wants about the rumor and about his meet and greet and advice that he gave to this MVP.
I did because
it's your charm.
It's part of my charm. It is. Sometimes I think I know a little more than what I really know, and I'm willing to offer that up, whether they want to hear it or not. So, yeah, all right. I did take notes in the production meeting on Saturday, in part because I thought you might bring it up. So I wanted to make sure that I had it down. The other reason I took notes is because, well,
it was a Super Bowl and it was a production meeting,
and I thought,
and you were called upon.
And yes, and I thought that maybe some of this stuff would be good to remember come, Sunday at 6:30. So,
and it'll make the next production meeting for your next Super Bowl that much easier.
If I make it, that's the running joke. How many of us will make it 3 years from now? That's a long time, Mark. A lot can go wrong. That's a lot of games to be able to get something big wrong and get you off the next Super Bowl list. So, I mean, you think I'll make the next Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
You do?
I don't know, and I'm being 100% serious. I don't know if there's anybody that has more confidence in your abilities to do your job than me. And I'm not. I think you are great. I would honestly challenge her. I think I have as much confidence as your wife in you. I've worked with you long enough. I know how smart you are. I give you as much crap as I can give any human on the planet because you are an easy flipping target. But you are as gifted of a sports person as I've ever known. There is not a doubt in my mind that you will do this as long as you want because you're very good at it and you love this business. I love the game. I don't want to think when I watch games. I want the game to unfold before me. You can't do that. I don't think you can watch a sporting event and just take it in. You watch a sporting event always going forward. What's the coach going to do? What's the player going to do? What should the broadcaster say? It's the way your brain works during a game. And even though I broadcasted games and can see the next play very often, you think differently than most people when it comes to that. And that's why I think you are very good at what you do.
Thank you. If Gary Danielson is listening right now, he's laughing. He goes, yeah, that may be true, but he couldn't remember Mike Sherman's name when I really needed it.
And don't we all know that's the truth, Gary? Miller and Moulton, Fox Sports Radio.
You're clear.
We froze here. So
11 years ago.
We're resetting here, gang. You can follow us in a second.
From their tombs and their